Welcome to the Naples Money Managers News You Can Use. We are festive and ready for the holidays.
Tis the season, everyone.
Yeah, I got my little elf over here. That means I get anything done I want, right? Isn't that how it works with Santa?
I mean, he's kind of busy.
Yeah, but that's what elves are for.
That's true.
That's what elves are for. So I may not be here for the next one. I wanted to make sure I wished everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a happy Hanukkah, and anything else that you might celebrate. I want it to be happy.
Yes.
Want it to be happy.
It's a good time of the year to get together, folks.
So
That's what it's all about.
I have a Santa Claus joke. Should I tell it now or at the end?
At the end.
Okay, we'll tell the joke at the end. If I can remember it.
We'll see. Well, why don't you do it now then? That's a good idea.
Okay. So this is kind of financial.
Okay.
How much does Santa Claus's sleigh cost?
I have no idea.
It's on the house. It's free.
It's on the house. But I'm bummed.
Okay,
That was very good.
my husband gave me that
I
joke.
like that. It was very good.
He had to tell it to me 3 times so I could remember it.
It's what the kids call a dad joke.
Okay, well, you got a dad joke now. All right. Anyway, back to now the important things, I guess, the world out there.
Yeah.
The Consumer Price Index came out today. No, excuse me, the Producer Price Index came out today, and they expected 0.2%, came out at 0.4%. And you know, after you scrape out food and you scrape out gas, you know, like what's left, right?
It's not a whole. I mean, what you need to live on, right? I guess they should add internet to that.
So that was up 0.1.
Oh, okay.
So up a little bit, which is kind of good. But Producer Price Index is a really interesting number to watch. I mean, think about what Producer Price Index, what it costs them for the products and their index. So when these numbers come out, you think, well, how do they affect the rest of, you know, inflation? If it's gone way up, well, they're going to pass that on to you, right? So anyway, that's one of the things that came out this morning.
Interesting.
I already told my great Santa Claus joke, but the other thing I was looking at was I have written down, inventories. And I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that, like in the car industry, trucks in particular, they're not making deals. Like usually they make deals toward the end of the year to make deals, but they're thinking because of the Trump administration and how much better everything's going to be that they don't need to make any deals. So they're holding these prices firm. Now, anybody who's bought a truck out there, send me a text. No, I don't text. Send me an email, dawn@naplesmoneymanagers.com or marcus@naplesmoneymanagers.com. Or you can make a comment, you know, right on, and we've had a couple of them. I admit it was my sister-in-law, but she did get online and make a comment about one of our pieces.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. We always need those folks, you know.
So that's called subscribe and...
Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It lets us know, you know, what you're thinking, you know, that you're listening, that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore, right? You know?
Well, no.
I mean, if nobody's listening.
If no one is listening.
I mean, what's the point? Anyway, okay, so, but that one, I thought that was really, really interesting.
Yeah, and it segues a little bit into what I wanted to talk about. Now, we've had one of the best Black Fridays on record. Actually, I think it is the best Black Friday on record. Consumer sales are very high.
But what I heard, it wasn't so much that they were buying more, but that the prices were higher.
A lot of very high ticket items.
Right.
People are buying televisions again, or you know, things like that. So I think that shows a certain robustness in the economy, which is good. You know, we're expecting a very good end of the year, and from a practical standpoint, we've done a lot of tax management this year.
We have. We made a lot of money, but that doesn't mean you have to pay tax on a lot of money.
Yeah, we're looking anywhere between 18 and 20% for a year to date.
Return
year to date. That we should end somewhere in that realm, I think, maybe a little bit higher, as things continue to go up. But our
how much of that do you think would be taxable? So if there was a 20% return, you think 3, 4, 5% of it might be taxed?
Less than 5, I think.
So go with 5% of your return this year being taxable. So that's great.
Yeah, and most of it will be long term. We've seen. So
we're trying.
We've really put a lot of effort into tax management this year compared to last.
It's what private management allows you to do.
Yes.
You know, for an individual account, you're not all in one big group. Well, you are in some groups, but I mean, as far as the tax management, like somebody sold a house and had a huge gain this year.
Absolutely.
So we needed to, scrape up and find losses. And what that really means is you do find a loss for this year by pushing the gain out a year. So that's how we do that. It doesn't affect your return at all.
No, it's already baked in actually. These buybacks and these roll-ups are already baked into that 20% return we talk about. So in many ways, it's a very much a win-win for our clients, and we'll see how far we can kick that can down the road.
So here's another interesting fact. And Canada just lowered their rates, and one of the other major countries, I'm sorry, but they're lowering their interest rates. I think Canada's down to like 0.5% or something like that. So what does that do for our rate cuts? Now you think about that and you think, well, maybe that will push rate cuts here. They're calling for maybe one more cut in January.
Yeah, we'll likely see one.
Maybe, and then pause. But when the rates go up, down there, people can't get much return on their money. So what do? They sell in the Canadian dollar, for example, or they'll sell the euro or whatever it happens to be, buy US dollars, which pushes our price up for US dollars to get our higher interest rate. So that's kind of the good news. As the guy on television always says, Jonathan, I think, on the other hand,
Yeah.
on the other hand, if that happens, all of our debt, which is at a very high rate, has to be paid.
Yeah.
So, there's always two sides or two edges to the sword.
Exactly. It's a real double-edged sword in this case. Absolutely.
Right. It's a double-edged sword. So that's kind of what's going on out there. It's all everybody trying to feel their way for what this new administration is going to be, how it's going to affect the economy, how it's going to affect tax rates. So far, markets love it.
They do. He was talking. The President-elect Trump was talking about lowering, I believe, the corporate tax rate to 21% or even lower.
Yeah, 15. Well, no, that was if you produce in the United States.
Yes.
Your product, your corporate rate would be 15%. But if you produce outside of the United States, it would be 21. But still not that bad.
Well, no, it's much lower than what we have now, and it's very competitive for for American industry, which is I think the administration's real goal.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. So let's see what else. Oh, there was a. We have a dog barking in the background here. Warner Brothers, who is it doing? They're separating their, I think it was Warner Brothers. No, they're separating there's a big things going on with the networks.
Yeah. They're
separating their linear networks from their streaming studios. Separate companies now.
That's interesting. I wonder why. It probably has something to do. So most
acquisitions, I think, mostly.
And streaming companies have huge losses for the most cases. Like Disney Plus, Warner Brothers. Which one was Warner Brothers? Was that Peacock?
I had a W there, so okay, guys, I think it was Warner Brothers.
But they do, in many cases, have these enormous losses. So I wonder if that's a way to separate that so that they can't hide them. Because Disney was accused of doing that for a while, hiding their.
Also, could be so that they don't get too big.
Oh, that's...
so that they can add acquisition to others and create.
Without them running the antitrust.
Right.
No, that's a good point too.
It could be that. But okay, so those were my big points for the day. And one last one for us lady folks out there. The gal that created Spanx, her name is down there. Sarah, can you see
Sarah
it?
Blakely.
Sarah Blakely. She fell off my paper here. She created Spanx. And of course, way back then, it was like a big deal. It was like, oh, this is a forbidden word. We can't have this in our stores.
Now they're everywhere.
And she was out there, in the stores promoting these things. And they're everywhere. And on everyone.
Absolutely.
But she's got so tired of wearing high heels, and Harvard Big goes, how long do I have to suffer in these shoes tonight? I'll bring the flats, wear those, and then I'll wear. But she's now got something called Sneaks, S-N-E-E-X.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Go online and check them out. I think they're amazing. And she did it by taking a sneaker and tearing it apart and figuring out how to fix the things that we all struggle with. The pressure on the ball of your foot when you have a high shoe.
I don't know that, but...
Marcus, I've seen you run around in high heels.
Never!
and your toes squishing up. Anyway, take a look at those. You're going to try and order some for your wife.
Yeah, I think so. I think Talia would really like
She's not watching, right?
No, I don't think she's subscribed to our channel. We should get her to do
What? Okay.
I know.
All right. Well, anyway, is that it for today?
That's all I had. I had the taxes and the returns.
Okay, so everybody, remember what's important out there. Your family, your time, it's precious, and cherish that. And most of all, money is important, right?
It is.
It is important, but most of all, and most importantly, it's all about you. It's all about the people. You're the important one.
None of this works without you. So.
That's right. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.